Alright, in this video we're going to do some examples of working with an ellipse. Before we do that, let's go back to our basic equation. So here's the equation of an ellipse. Notice there's a plus, x squared plus y squared. Therefore, you could think of it as y squared plus x squared, same thing. Alright, so when the x squares and y squares are added, we're talking about ellipse. When these are subtracted, that's a hyperbola, which we're going to cover in the later videos. Next thing is, notice in this situation, when the larger number is under the x square, the ellipse is elongated in the x direction. The next video, we'll put the larger number under y square. That'll elongate it in the y direction. But in this example, notice the larger number is under the x square. So that's what tells us we're using these formulas. Second thing is it's an addition. That tells us it's an ellipse. So our general formula is x squared over a squared. A squared is therefore 16. Take the square root of both sides, and a is 4. Well, technically it's plus and minus 4, but the plus and minus is taken care of in our formulas over here. So a is 4. Back to our formula, y squared over b squared. B squared is 5. So b is the square root of 5. Now we can find c. We know the center because no numbers are added or subtracted with the y component. That tells us it's at the origin. So the center is the origin. The vertices, let me write this over here. The vertices, which we're asked to find, are plus and minus a, comma 0. A is 4, so we have plus and minus 4. Make sure this is showing up here. Plus and minus 4, comma 0. All right, so now we need to find C in order to find the foci. We know what A and B are, so then we use this Pythagorean relation right here to find C. So from this formula, C squared is equal to A squared minus B squared. And then we plug it in. So C squared is A squared, which is 16, minus B squared, which is 5. C squared is 11, so C is the square root of 11. So that means the foci are at plus and minus the square root of 11, comma 0. So the foci are at plus and minus the square root of 11, comma 0. Now let's just draw a quick sketch, a quick graph of this. So A is 4, so we go out to 1, 2, 3, 4. And so that's our A0. The negative A0. 1, 2, 3, 4, negative A0. How far up and down do we go? Well, B is the square root of 5. That's just a little bit bigger than 2. So we go up to a little more than 2 and down a little more than 2. And basically just kind of connect this with our, and that's a rough sketch of this. Now notice our foci, the square root of 11, that's a little bigger than 3, but it's less than 4. So it's over here somewhere, yeah? So this is where our foci are relative to that graph. So that's a basic idea for ellipses. The next video, what we're going to do is this another ellipse, but the larger number will be under the y square, not the x square.